Good day, everyone. My name is Nombuyiselo Ngalanga. I'm a student teacher and I'm teaching natural sciences. So today I'll be conducting a scientific investigation on grade 8. This investigation, I found it on the Natural Sciences CAPS document under the topic density, which is found under matter and materials. So the misconceptions that I will be addressing today is that heavy objects sink than light or objects. That's the misconception that people have, that when an object sinks, it's because it is heavy, and when an object floats, it's because it is light. Many learners think that weight determines if whether an object will float or sink, and this is because they have observed heavy stones sinking and lighter objects floating. But the real factor here is density. Density is what determines if whether an object will float or if. The aim of my investigation is to determine if whether an object will float or sink. So now I'll be showing the materials that I will be using for my investigation. I'll be using this transparent container filled with water. I'm having an orange. I'm having a giant whistle, and I'm having a bottle cap, and I'm also having a bottle of water which is empty. I'm also having an avocado, and I'm also having a stone, and now we'll be determining which object will float and which one will sink. So you will help me to predict which object will float and which object will sink. Between the bottle cap and this avocado, I predict that the bottle cap will float and this will sink. So I'll now drop it into the water to determine which one will sink. So as you can see, the avocado has sinked and the bottle cap is on top of the water, is floating. Now I'll take this small stone and this bottle of water which is empty and put them inside. As you can see, the empty bottle of water is floating and the stone is sinking. So now I'll try and fill this bottle of water and also put the same stone inside. Even if I put just small water, even if it's not that full. The bottle of water is still sinking because it's not full. So now I'll take this whistle blower and fill this bottle of water until its maximum capacity to see which one will float and which one will sink. And now I will close this bottle of water to determine between this giant whistle blower and this bottle filled with water which one will sink and which one will float. As you can see, this whistle blower is floating, and now this bottle of water is inside. It has sunk inside the water. So the findings of these results have demonstrated that weight alone does not determine whether an object will float or whether it will sink. But density plays a huge role in determining which object will sink, because objects that sink, it's because particles are closely packed with each other and there's no air that is moving around. Hence the bottle of water, when it was empty, it was floating because it was filled with more air. But now that it's filled with water and there are less particles that are moving, they are closely packed to each other, now the bottle of water was sinking. This concludes that density plays a huge role in determining which object. So in a classroom environment, I would teach this section by giving learners a chance to do this scientific investigation, whereby they have their own materials that they will be using for the investigation, and they will be recording the results to determine which object or which object will float or sink. They would predict before putting the object inside the water. So I'll be using examples such as ships, stones, bottle caps, and anything that can be of a good example when it comes to this. In conclusion, the misconception that heavy objects sink than lighter object is incorrect. Density plays a huge role in determining whether an object will float or sink.